Microsoft give us two sets of updates around what's going on with Copilot for Microsoft 365 every month. The first of these is a public blog post, and you can see this and you can go off and view this information whenever you want. However, the second one is only sent to users that have a Copilot for Microsoft 365 license. So to actually get this set of updates, which are different to the public blog post, you have got to be able to have a license. So in this video, we're going to go through what those announcements were at the end of June so you can take advantage of what's coming, change any training and documentation that you've got, and also what to be looking out for a better return on investment for your Copilot for Microsoft 365 license. So let's get stuck in. So let's take a look at the June update from Microsoft. As you see, it was actually published on the 28th of June, so it's only been out the last couple of days. And as you can see here, it's your monthly blog for all things Microsoft Copilot. It mainly focuses on Copilot for Microsoft 365, but there's plenty of stuff in here that is useful for everybody who's looking at using Copilot for Microsoft 365 or are using it already. So let's take a look. As you can kind of see, just some general information. I am going to put the link in the description below. So please do go up and have a look at that if you want to be able to take it yourself and take your own analysis of this. While you're down there, click on that like button for me. So you can see there's just a brief introduction of what they're kind of going through, and there are different areas. And what's really important here is some links around things that are changing and improving already. So we've got the kind of general description of what's going on from an admin point of view. So if you're more of an admin and you want to know how the deployment's going, or you're looking for more adoption tips, you've got your admin and management capabilities that we'll go through. Then we'll go through that user capabilities that are a bit further down this blog post. So let's look about this expanding availability for Copilot for Microsoft 365. Now, I'm not going to go into all of this, but as you can see here, these are individual SKUs that Microsoft offer from a licensing point of view that you can go off and purchase. So if you just want to be able to have a user that doesn't have any other license, they don't have an Office 365 E3 or an E5 or a Microsoft 365 E3 or 5, they're just going to have the ability to log in and use Microsoft Clipchamp. You too can now go and buy them a Copilot for Microsoft 365, and they can take advantage of the AI features that are built into each of these applications that you can see, things like projects, OneDrive, SharePoint, Clipchamp, as just to name a few. So just to show that, you know what, it's not necessarily all exclusive now just to the Office 365 and the Microsoft 365 license. If you only use a few of these, you can take advantage of those AI tools inside of them now. Adoption and training is so important, and of course there's no difference necessarily with what Microsoft are bringing, and it's great to see Microsoft adding more and more around how to actually use Copilot and how are users using it at this moment in time, so you can see the return on investment. And here are some more things that are built into both Viva Insights and a few of the other Viva tools. So as you kind of see here, Viva within Viva Insights, we can actually see more dashboards. And to see this, you must have some kind of permissions given to you to be able to go off and do that. So you might, if you're maybe in that end user adoption team or the learning development team, ask for permissions to be able to see how people are using the different applications. So you can kind of see a bit of a screenshot here of how somebody is kind of getting the statistics of how it's being used, the different groups of peoples, and you can also do this by applications and see how people are doing it across your organization. You can gain more understanding of your company and using Copilot through the Viva Insights app. As you can kind of see here, a bit more information that's kind of coming through. Gain insights into which groups in your company are leading in Copilot adoption. So what is it kind of using? Activation steps, changing activities in use over the month. So as you put more and more training in place, are we going to see more use of it during that monthly period of time? And here's just a few more kind of summary pages that you're available as part of that Viva Insights information, as you can see here. So, you know what, it's great that we can see documents and actions that are being summarized inside of documents because we've got that Copilot down that right hand side inside of Words. You can also see it in a few others here as well. Teams, emails, Copilot chat. So real good insight, how people are using it and kind of things. Interesting to see this one here. Copilot actions taken, 33 million different AI requests, at least within those main products that are there. Driving awareness and adoption with Copilot Deployment Kit in Viva Amplify. Amplify is a really powerful tool within our Viva Insights, and its ability to be able to go off and actually market and send and get understanding of how people are interacting with that content. Some great marketing tools when you're sending out these communications. Well, now we've got some more of this actual, you know what, we can send this out and we can see how people are interacting with it. And as you can kind of see here, we can create these campaigns. If you're used to some of this marketing terminology, creating campaigns, letting people know how they can use it. As you see, here's the kind of the draft. As you see, there's the kind of just in here, from a draft point of view, it's saying, you know what, this is the communication that's going to go out. This is the email that's going to go out. This could be something we could upload into it. And then we can see how people are interacting with those emails and the insights that you get from it. So we've got some kind of campaigns and content that's coming as part of that deployment kit. Next up, we've got the extend Copilot and Teams meeting capabilities with Copilot for Sales. Now, one of the things I use a lot of is Teams, and I'm in Teams meetings. And if maybe you work in sales in some kind of way and you have that Copilot for Sales, we've now got that extensibility that when I'm in my Teams meeting, I can bring that data from Copilot in Sales into my Teams meetings. So I haven't got to go to different places to be able to get the content I need for the meeting that I'm in. From a sales point of view, I now have Copilot for Sales, and I can go and ask for information within this. So as you will see here, down this right hand side, we've got this information that's just loading out and saying, you know what, get brand info from this particular customer from sales, and you see this information is coming up. So nice little example of how Microsoft are using this and how you can go and take advantage of that Copilot for Sales inside of here. Interesting, they've gone off and asked what are their buying trends, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses around what they're buying. Really important prompts. Learn more. Not many people are actually aware that actually as part of your Copilot for Microsoft 365 license, you get access to certain learning material inside of Viva Learning. So here you go. It's actually starting to come out. It started rolling out as part of Copilot Academy. Started rolling out in May, as it just says here. But we're getting more and more of this, and it's now generally available, and it's been able for you to be able to go over and access. So it's good to see that inside this Viva Learning that you had these capabilities of actually having the Copilot Academy, get people learning to how they can use the product, but also how they should do effective prompting inside of that Copilot for Microsoft 365 license and all the products, those 15 plus products that we've now got it in, like Designer and OneDrive and SharePoint. We'll come on to SharePoint in a while. So really important as part of things. Microsoft are going to be hosting a Ask Me Anything around the Copilot in Outlook. And in the email update we will see later on, you will see that actually we've now got Copilot in the classic Outlook. So this is a really good time to be able to go off and speak to the Copilot in Outlook team, ask them questions around. My main question will be, what's the development that we're going to see, and how is the classic Outlook going to stay up to date with the current Outlook to be able to make sure it's always got the same features from a Copilot in Outlook point of view. So look up that one, 9th of July. Into SharePoint. I'm quite excited by this one. I'm excited to see how Copilot and AI can support SharePoint. And interesting that it says here, rewrite SharePoint pages with Copilot in SharePoint text V1. Does this mean that they're already working on a version 2? But throughout this month of July, we are going to see the ability to be able to take your text that you've made. If I just play this little GIF here, and it shows off, you know what, I want to rewrite this text. It opens the same panel that we kind of get inside of Word when we have Copilot for Word, and we can go off and we can start editing this text and rewriting it using AI, giving it a prompt. Can you tell me, can you write this text? So quite nice, exciting. And that also demonstrates some of the new pages that we've got within SharePoint, the new branding pages and images that you can put on the background to make your pages a lot more enthusiastic and engaging. Navigating down just a little bit further. Now, these are some of the features that we've already got. Everything you kind of see there is things that are new that are coming, but Microsoft, of course, are also enhancing things and improving the base products that we've saw with Copilot for Word and for PowerPoint as it is here. And one of the reasons why I like sometimes this Microsoft Copilot, that formerly Bing Chat Enterprise, is the ability to be able to go off and create images using that DALL-E 3 engine and using the designer service that we've got. Now, what's great is that, we create content inside of Word, we create it inside of PowerPoint, and those features are now coming to Word and PowerPoint. And it says here, these designer integrations start rolling out in July for Word and for PowerPoint. So if you're used to Microsoft Copilot and you say, can you create an image for a colorful chair in a particular style, you can do that. And as you can see here is an example on the page. As on the right hand side, find me an image of space. You go and ask it to find an image at this moment in time. It goes and looks at those stock images. I go and ask it as part of my demos to find a football stadium. It always finds a football stadium. Now I can ask it to go and make me a football stadium that looks like this in this particular style. And that gives me the ability to then insert that into my Word, into my PowerPoint presentations, and take advantage of that. I think this is one of the most exciting updates as part of what's coming with Copilot for 365 for this month. Teams, obviously, we've already talked about one of the exciting updates with this Copilot for Sales coming, but also we've got more coming in here from a Copilot in Teams. As it says here, transform messages and manage access to meeting artifacts with Copilot in Teams. And if I just bring this down here, it kind of shows you that, we've got this ability to be able to take a chat, a group chat as it is here, and ask it to generate content and text, so then I can paste it in. So it's just helping you to generate text, but you know what? This is still helps people with accessibility needs and being able to support them. Interesting, it asks them to rewrite this message as to be a joke. So you can previously you've been able to say, this emphasis, I want it to be more professional, I want it to be shorter, I want it to be longer, I want it to be more emotional. Now you can give it the kind of emphasis and the kind of persona that you want to be able to give it. So you want to say it to be more jokey, or you want it to be more funny, or you want it to be a sad message, you can do, and you can put that in there as well. We've also got better meeting recap stuff. So by default, as you can see here, it says record and start transcriptions automatically. So we can actually got the meeting options in here. Who can access the recordings or transcription? Now, one of the things I kind of recommend to organizations is that they go off and they are the ones that are the holders, the key holders to the meeting, because then you get that transcription. Because anybody else that's external can't then do it. As you can see here, that is going to be one of the things that is now being saved. So actually, everybody can do it. So only specific people, organizers and the co-organizers, probably people internally, or everybody can. I wanted to see if this kind of starts coming as part of the external people as well. Access more information across the Microsoft 365 tenant with Copilot and Word. When you go off and you're in Word, you ask it to create some kind of content for you. You can now tag more different file types and people to be able to build that content that you want it to be able to do. So it could be, can you go off and create this particular type of business case, let's say, and I'm going to ask you to use this document and this PowerPoint presentation and this PDF file, as just as an example. So we've got more options that we can do to be able to include this. Create richer PowerPoint presentations. As you kind of just mentioned, we're going to have the designer service, and we've got more integration with the PowerPoint designer service is going to help with this as well. So as you can say, this particular prompt here, it says an image of a new beautiful spring flower in season. And you can see how it's added this to the page. And that's using some of those designer services to be able to go off and do that. A few more things here, kind of going off and summarizing and asking it to go off and actually creating and summarizing a PowerPoint presentation before you go off and create it. Of course, you want to be able to understand information. And now we can bring it from both the internal part of the organization, but you can also bring it from the web. You have that plugins feature you can click on and say, go off and find this information. And as it says here, in a blank PowerPoint presentation, Copilot chat is open. A question was asked and Copilot responded by pulling that information from both the company and the web and including references of where that information was sourced. You should always know where that information is sourced, because then you know whether you should be putting it into a PowerPoint presentation or not. Expanding data structure support and comprehensive answers in Copilot in Excel. Copilot in Excel is expanded. I've seen some great additions to the features in the last just month alone. So it's great to see more and more coming in here. If you tried it 2-3 months ago and felt disappointed with Copilot in Excel, go back, try exactly the same prompts, and I promise you, you will see more and more being added. And it's only going to be rolling out more and more this month, as you can see, with more prompts, better analysis and understanding, as well as how to use better prompts, better formulas and that kind of thing within it. And then share work with Copilot, assisted loop page creation. So asking Copilot to be able to help you more inside of Loop. So if you're not using Loop, you should take advantage of Loop. It's a very good tool. I do like it. And then you can kind of see here a link that takes out to the roadmap. So plenty in here, big blog post, plenty of stuff from that administrative side of things, but also the end user kind of side of things. But let's jump into that email that Microsoft talk about and actually send to the users that have a Copilot for Microsoft 365 license. Let me just get that up. And as you will see here, this is the email that is sent. So it's sent from this Microsoft 365 Copilot at communication.microsoft.com, as you can see. And this is that June edition. Again, it was sent normally in the last week of the month. So this is the 24th of June that this was sent to me and my license within my test tenancy. So as you can see here, Copilot for Microsoft 365 updates. So who is getting this? This is the end users. So anybody from your sales department, your finance, marketing, whoever you've assigned this license. So this is the information that they're getting. So the first is the fact that Copilot is now available in Classic Outlook. Previously, the requirements were that you had to be on the new Outlook. And I've used it for a number of months and it is different. It is a change. And I think it's just a matter of time before you get used to it. But we've got this new now available in from a Classic point of view. One of the things that's frustrated me slightly with Outlook and the new Outlook is that I've not had offline mode. But that is now coming too. So if you were thinking of switching back because of that offline mode and you've got used to the new Outlook, maybe consider staying on it because you've got those features. But if you're using the new Outlook, you can see that there are certain things that are coming. And as I said earlier on, I'd love to hear from the product team around what's that feature parity between the Classic Outlook and the new Outlook from a Copilot point of view and those features, especially when they're advertising it now to our end users. Popular user prompts. So nice to see Microsoft giving some kind of almost a bit of training and how you can use it. As you can see here, what should be on the radar for my emails last week. And also here, don't miss out, summarize team messages where I was at mentioned this week. So great way to be able to go off it. I love to put more formatting in these kind of things. Can you go off and put on what's in my radar from my email last week into a table and prioritize it 1 to 10? It's a great prompt to be able to go, you know what, let me focus on the top 3 because I've got half an hour now to be able to go off and do that. Improving your Copilot skills. Interesting, these go off to little videos for Microsoft. I'm just going to show you one of these, summarize an email, and you'll see that this just loads up. This is actually a web page, as you can kind of see here. And I've got a go off and I can play this should I want to be able to do so. It's just a 40-second video around actually how we can use some of these features inside of Outlook. Might want to consider using these yourselves inside of your own training and adoption and taking it from that point of view. I'm not going to go through all of this, so let me just jump back to the email. You can see that was also there. There's also one there for draft and email. Try with Copilot for Microsoft 365. So this is where Microsoft are again working on that training adoption and passing this on to your users. Fine-tune your team message to communicate more effectively with your team. Open Copilot and then select rewrite or adjust to make the message longer or shorter. You saw that announcement earlier on where you can change the emphasis and the tone to say it's a joke. That's the bit that I used earlier on. Create a brochure or newsletter from multiple files. So again, it was in that announcement. It's already been told to users. It's actually told to users before it came out in that blog post that was sent around the updates. But as it says here, ask Copilot, draft content combining this file, and this file. Go off and try in Word. Prepare your audience for a meeting by adding an agenda for your presentation. Add an agenda slot. Have you seen to see how your presentations could be improved by saying, can you add certain slides that are missing? How should this structure? Can you turn this into a PowerPoint presentation? What's missing from this presentation? These are really key things that we can improve things on. And as we just come to the bottom of this email, improvements based on your feedback. Microsoft are always listening, and they have made hundreds of changes to Copilot for Microsoft 365 based on customer feedback. So make sure you aren't passing it back. So they've done that. Multiple files are putting in there to say that we've improved it and listened to you. Ensure reasons over PDF files from your partners, customers, and vendors. Ask Copilot, summarize this PDF file or compare PDF 1 and PDF 2 and list the differences between them. That's really powerful. Remember, these are the kind of things that you want to be able to go off and doing. So yes, you can go off and summarize a PDF file now, or compare this file to this file and tell me the differences. Maybe tell it what differences that you want it to be looking out for. Ask it put into a table. Ask it to prioritize it for you. The art of prompting is so important for Copilot for Microsoft 365. So through our first update that we've just been through, this is what we're going to get from Microsoft every single month from the sound of it. So come 1st of August, I'll try and get another video out to you around what Microsoft are saying, what's been sent to end users from an email point of view, and what's also been sent out on that blog post. So if you found certain things useful over the last kind of month, please do leave a comment below and let other people know what you found useful with Copilot for Microsoft 365. And until the next time, I'll see you soon on the Value Add.